Good morning, happy Wednesday. It's hump day, halfway through the week. Well done for making it this far. First week back of a new term is always really difficult, but you've been doing amazingly. Your maths skill today is to understand percentages. So we're moving on. Fractions, decimals and percentages are all linked, okay, but today we're going to focus on percentages. So let's start with arithmetic. You've got 5 times tables, you have got addition, and today is a new one for your goal challenge. I'd like you to convert the improper fractions to mixed numbers. So remember, if we've got 6/5, how many 5s go into 6, how many are left over, and that will give you a mixed number. Okay, so good luck with those. Take your time and come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so here are your answers. Okay, double check those mixed numbers to make sure you got those correct. It's really good to keep practicing those, even though we've moved on from converting them to mixing them proper. It's something that I'll keep putting on the arithmetic because it's really good for you to use those skills often. So, let's start with our maths then. So let's just have a quick recap. Which fraction and decimal is represented below? Okay, so here are your options. So you've got to choose one fraction and one decimal. So first of all, we need to know how many it's out of. Now we've got 10 across and 10 down, so it's out of 100. So there are 100 equal parts. What fraction and decimal is represented? Well, this row is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 75 parts out of 100. Can you find the fraction and the decimal? Okay, hopefully you can see the decimal, which is 0.75. Well, there's no fractions there, which are out of 100. We've got 70 out of 100, 70 hundredths. That's not right. I wondered if you realise it's the 3/4. Okay, because 75 out of 100 is 3/4. If we divide 100 by 4, it gives us 25, and then we times that by 3. So 75 hundredths simplified is 3/4. Okay, so we're looking at percentages today. So what does percent mean, or percent as the symbol? Have a talk to the people around you, have a chat in the bubble. If you're at home, have a think about what percent actually means. You may have heard of it, might know what this looks like and what it means, but what does it actually mean, percent? Okay, well, it originates from the Latin word the Latin words of percentum, which actually means per 100. So percent originates from per 100. Okay, so we know that 14 out of 100 represents 14 parts out of 100. So here we've got 14 hundredths, which means 14 out of our 100 parts are coloured, are shaded. We also know that as a decimal, 0.14 represents 14 parts out of 100. How would I write this as a percentage? So 14% represents 14 parts per 100. Remember that percent, which came from the Latin word of percentum, which meant per 100. It shows us there's 14 parts per 100. Okay, so all of these, so 14 hundredths, 0.14, and 14% all mean the same thing, all mean out of 100. Okay, so how many equal parts is the square divided into this time? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and 10 down, so it's out of 100 parts. How many parts are shaded? So we can count in 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 full columns. Oh, 7 full columns. So it's 70, 71, 72, 73 parts are shaded. How do we write this as a fraction, a decimal and a percentage? So you've got 73 parts out of 100. Can you write it as a fraction, a decimal and a percentage? You don't need to write this in your books, but can you write it on a scrap bit of paper or a whiteboard? Or do you just know how you would do that? Okay, so we have got 73 parts out of 100. So as a fraction, it's 73 hundredths. As a decimal, it's 0.73. And as a percentage, it's 73%. Okay, complete the STEM sentences for the diagram represented below. So, if you're in the bubble, say these sentences aloud. And if you're at home, also say them aloud. There are something parts per 100 shaded. So how many parts have we got? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64. There are 64 parts per 100 shaded. This is, what percent is it? 64%, because there's 64 parts per 100. How about this one? There are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There are 50 parts per 100 shaded. This is, what percentage is it? It's 50%. 50 parts are shaded per 100. How about this one? Okay, there are 5 parts per 100 shaded. This is 5%. Okay, so however many parts are shaded, this is the percentage. Have a look at this closely. Which is the odd one out? Okay, so here we've got 4/10, because we've got 4 parts shaded out of the 10. Then we've got 4 parts shaded out of 100. Then we've got 40 parts out of 100, because it's 40%. So as a fraction, we've got 4/10, 4 hundredths. This is the same as 40 hundredths. So which is the odd one out? Well, we know that 4/10 is an equivalent fraction to 40 hundredths. So the odd one out is 4 hundredths. Okay, let's try another. So which is the odd one out here? So we've got 45%. We've got our square here, it's 100 square with this amount shaded. And then we've got this at the bottom. Which is the odd one out? Okay, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So we've got 45 parts out of 100 shaded. We've got 45%. And down here, it's divided equally by 10 parts. But we've got 5 shaded, so this represents 50%, 5 out of the 10, or half, which is also 50%. So that's the odd one out. It's too many. We needed 45. That one was 50. Okay, have a quick independent practice. Okay, you have got another independent practice to do as well. But you've got a choice of 2 on the resources. Now you don't have to print them. Okay, you can just draw them if you haven't got a printer. I'm just showing you some here, but on the resources. So if you're finding it a little bit tricky, there's a page with just the squares on. If you want more of a challenge, there's one with 3 squares and, well, there's this page here. Okay, if you want a bigger challenge, you can do them all if you like. Okay, but if you're feeling a little bit unsure, start with the one with just squares, and then you can always move on to the more challenging ones at the bottom. Okay, but both of those pages are on the resources, so you can choose. But as I say, you don't have to print them, you can just draw them into your books and shade them in beautiful colours if you like. Remember to simplify your answers if you can. Okay, so pause the video whilst you do that. Oh, so you'll need to write your answer as a percentage, a fraction and a decimal. Okay, so pause the video, take your time and come back when you're ready to move on. Okay, so look at the bar model. How many equal parts is it split into? Okay, so we've got our 100% at the top, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's been split into 10 equal parts. If the whole bar is worth 100%, what is each part worth? So remember when we look at bar models, if we've got 100 is our whole and we've got 10 equal parts, what do we need to do? Okay, we need to divide our whole by the amount of equal parts there are. Now there are 10. So we know that 100 divided by 10 is 10. So each part is worth 10%. If each part is worth 10%, what percentage is shaded? Okay, so you've got 2 blue parts. What percentage is shaded? Okay, so we know 10% times 2 is 20% because each of these is worth 10. So 10, 20%. What percentage is shaded here? So how many equal parts have we got? We've still got the same, still got 10 equal parts. How many parts are shaded? It's 5. If each part is worth 10%, it's going to be 50%. How many parts need to be shaded to represent 25%? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10 parts, 10 equal parts. How many parts do we need to shade? We need to show 25%. Each part is worth 10%. So we've got 10, 20. Oh, but a full part would be 30%, but 2 parts are 20. So we need to do 2.5 parts. Okay, so that's 25%, which is the same as a quarter. True or false? So this is a bar chart. Okay, the bar model represents 30%. True or false? Okay, well we can see that the bar chart is 100%, but it's been divided into 5 equal parts. Now, so we need to divide 100 divided by 5, which means each of these parts is worth 20. So 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, because we know that 100 divided by 5 is 20, 20 times 5 is 100, which means that these shaded parts represent 20, 40, 60%. So 3 parts is 60, so it is false. Okay, you have to be really careful. It looks like 30% because it looks like there's 3 parts. You have to make sure you know how many parts the whole has been divided into. Okay, have a go at drawing bar models to represent the percentage shown. So, you've got the bar models here. Now the first one has been divided into 10 equal parts. You need to draw that in your books, and you need to colour in 40% of the bar chart, of the bar model. The next one, you need to colour in 75% of the bar model, and it's been divided into 4 equal parts. So you need to work out how much each part is worth. Okay, so the third one has been divided into 2 equal parts, and you need to shade 25%. And then lastly, you need to shade 35%, and it's been divided into 20 equal parts. So have a think about those. Okay, really try your best, remembering that the whole is divided by the equal amount of parts, and that will tell you what each part is worth. So pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so the first one then, so 40%, it's been divided into 10 equal parts, so it's going to be 4 parts. Oops, I've shaded too many parts. I've been supposed to shade 4. Okay, there should definitely be 4 shaded parts. Ignore this one. I must have got a bit happy with the colours. There should definitely be only 4 parts shaded. Then we've got 100%, but there's 4 equal parts for number 2. Okay, so 100 divided by 4 is 25. So each part is worth 25. So we know 25, 50, 75%. Okay, so that's 3/4. We've then got this one, which has been divided into 2. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. So we know each part is worth 50%. Ooh, but we've got 25%, so it means we only need to shade half of one of the parts. And then lastly, this is a more challenging one. So we've got 100%, and it's been divided into 20 equal parts. 100 divided by 20 is 5. So each of these parts is worth 5%. So if we count, we can count in 5s, 10, 15, 20, or we know that 7 times 5 is 35. So you should have 7 pieces shaded. I'm going to double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did get that one right. So 35% is 7 of the equal parts. Well done if you managed those. And they can be a little bit difficult, but I'm sure you've done amazingly. Okay, final thought then. Use the information to complete the table. So Mo, Annie and Tommy all did a test with 100 questions. Tommy got 6 fewer questions correct than Mo. So let's start with Mo. Mo got 56 out of 100 on their test. So what percentage did they get correct? So 56 out of 100 is 56%. Okay, so Annie got a 65%, but what was her score out of 100? Okay, so her score was 65 out of 100. We don't know much about Tommy, but we do know that Tommy got 6 fewer questions correct than Mo. If Mo got 56 questions, that must mean Tommy got 50 questions out of 100, which means Tommy's percentage is 50%. How many more marks does each child need to score 100%? Okay, how are we going to work this out? If a child needs to score 100%, or if a child were to score 100%, how many more marks does each of the children need? So Mo had 56 out of 100. Okay, so Mo needs 44 more marks to get 100%. Annie got 65 out of 100, so Annie needs 35 more marks. And Tommy got 50 out of 100, so he needs 50 more marks. Okay, great job. I hope you found that okay today, guys. Percentages can be a little bit more challenging, but once you've got a really good knowledge and understanding of fractions and decimals, percentages just come along with it. Okay, they all intertwine and are relevant to each other, so it's really good to understand it and to have that knowledge. I shall see you again this afternoon for PE. But have a lovely morning, enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you later. Take care, bye.